Hey, good morning guys, welcome to the channel. It's early, it's cold, it's about 25 below zero right now Celsius up here in Canada. And yeah, we're changing the oil on a 2008 Kubota BX24. These are a 0.9 liter triple. Kubota's famous 1 liter diesel. It's a very reliable engine. This tractor has saved my ass lots of times, and it's pretty impressive for such a little unit. Pretty basic oil change. You got your oil fill on the top. Your oil filters mounted on the right side of the engine. Down below, I'm hoping I can kind of get my hands up inside of it and just take it off that way. The drain plug, obviously, it's on the bottom. It's very easy to get at. It's a simple oil change. I believe it takes 3.1 liters. The oil, I believe it called for 1030. But today I'm going to actually, for the first time, switch over to Rotella T6. I'm going to use 540. So it's a little better in the winter, little more extended for the summer as well. So I know the manual doesn't call for 540, and I usually don't really wander too far from what the manual says, but I've done a bunch of research online, and a lot of guys use this in their Kubotas, and they don't have an issue. T6 is like the trucker's oil. If you haven't heard, it's like anything diesel should be pretty much running one of these. Yeah, it's just it's really good oil. Lots of truck drivers going like 25,000 kilometers on the stuff. So I'm gonna switch to that. Hopefully it works. I'm sure it will. I'm gonna be using a Wix filter. So if you want to start a filter war in the comments, you can go right ahead. Historically, I've been using Kubota's filters on these. I use Wix filters. I got a few of them up there on the bench. Mostly these are for my lawnmower now. I'm using the Wix filters in my Ram Eco Diesel for the fuel filter. I've been doing that for over 100,000 kilometers now, and I got no issue. So I trust them. I'm going to switch over to these. This little setup here basically didn't cost me anything because I had extra oil, and the filter's about 12 bucks Canadian. So let's go get an oil pan. We'll go through all the different sizes of wrenches and stuff that we need when we get in there. Make sure you got a couple of rags, because it looks like that side mounted oil filter, it's going to make a mess. So be ready for that. And yeah, let's get after it. Alright guys, so I went ahead on the top and I pulled the dipstick for the oil, like the oil dipstick, just to introduce a bit of oil, air into the system as I crack this. This is going to be 14 millimeter. And it looks like I hit something pretty fierce. The damn oil pan's bent. I don't know if that's from the dealer or what the deal is, but I'm sure you're in the lefty loosey righty tighty. Keep your hand nice and high. Alright, look at that. 0 oil on my glove. That's a new record. Just wanted to show you, like I was saying. So I pulled the dipstick here, and then I also just lightly, remove the fill cap and just kind of leave it on there so no debris gets in, and that should help the draining of the oil down below. So I've still got the oil drain bolt out on the bottom. I'm going to try and remove the oil filter now. It's pretty skinny in there. Without taking the side cover off, I moved my oil pan over so when I pull this off I don't make a mess of the floor. But it looks like I'm going to go in here, I think, with a pair of channel locks and just kind of get it started. Just try not to go too deep. You're going to damage the filter, but there you go. Just kind of get it started. If you have an oil filter wrench small enough to get on there, all I have is the big stuff. So make sure you got your rags ready, which I do. And there it goes there. I just opened it up a teeny bit, let it drain. Looks like it's kind of draining on the inside of the frame right by the drive shaft. On a couple wires are getting a bit of oil on them, but it's got some protective covering on it. So then what you're going to do is take a little bit of fresh oil. So this is some older oil from a diesel Cummins video I did not too long ago. Just going to put that on the O-ring. Make sure you put clean oil. I mean, I'm sure it will work just fine with used oil, but you can make a nice clean seal with the new oil, and we'll reinstall it. We're ready to reinstall it. Now, you probably should try to pre-fill these. I know lots of guys like to pre-fill their filters. I've never ever pre-filled a filter, and knock on wood, I've never had any issues. You know, but if you feel like you can get a little bit of oil in there without making a mess, power to you. Now tightening this on, I think I might just I'm gonna go as tight as I can. You should probably go plus maybe a half turn, but oil filters really, they don't need much. I don't want to damage this, so I'm just gonna grab it a teeniest little bit. Give her maybe a quarter turn, and we can put the drain plug back in, start adding oil. Alright, I still got the world's smallest little dribble, but I'm going to go ahead and call it good there. You should inspect the washer on the bolt, make sure it's in good shape. If it's on its way out, replace that. Torque specs for this, I'm not 100% sure. It's only 14 millimeters, so usually I would torque it, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a little oomph. That's it. Doesn't need much, right? I'm pretty sure that's probably aluminum. You know, you don't want to cause no damage. So I'm going to grab a little rag here, clean this up, and yeah, we should be pretty much ready to add oil. Alright, so I went ahead, I got my nice clean oil funnel. Put that there. I don't know, I'm a firm fan of believer using a measuring cup. So it says 3.1. I'm probably going to just add 3. Let it run for a while and then check it the next day and just top it up. But that's pretty much it for this. Like I said, you can use whatever weight oil you feel necessary. I'm going to give this 540 a try. You know. Alright, well that pretty much wraps up the service. Sorry, I got the fan going here. It's insanely cold outside. Went really well, you know, it's like I said, very basic service. I didn't want to crack another jug of 540, and I had a teeny bit of 1030 left, Royal Purple, the synthetic stuff, high performance. So I just went ahead and mixed them. I got about a half liter of 1030 in the tractor, and the rest is 540. So I just went ahead, I put 3 liters, like I was saying. I'm going to run the tractor for a day or so, check the dipstick, likely have to add just a little bit more. You know, I'm a firm believer of too much oil is way worse than not enough oil. You know, if you have too much oil in, you don't have proper crankcase ventilation, you can really end up blowing seals and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, it's better to have just a little bit too little. Run the tractor for a bit, get things warmed up, let it all settle, check it, and then just add like, you know, 200 milliliters or whatever you got to do. So yeah, if this service helped you at all, you can maybe hit the like button for us. We'd appreciate that. If you have a Kubota BX24, you'll want to consider subscribing, because I'm going to basically be going over the whole tractor. Usually when I do these YouTube video series, or whatever you want to call them, like a playlist, I I get pretty in depth. Like I'll be going through all the filters, all the gear oil. I got a bunch of Xerx fittings I got to re-drill and tap. Hydraulic stuff. Going to be doing a couple little mods. I want to work on this rollover prevention system here. I'm going to add some lights to it and stuff like that. You know, just have some fun with the tractor, right? That's what they're for. So other than that, I'm going to move on to the next service in line here, the Hustler, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.